Welcome back to a quick update. I'll keep this one only about 9 minutes long, it looks like, and not super slow-mo. On the left, we just passed my zucchini plants, and as you can see, the oregano is still growing strong. And there's my little tomatoes that I kind of squeezed in there, which will be probably problematic with those zucchini plants to the right of those two little tomato plants, because, well, first of all, they're going to have to be thinned out because I've got two zucchinis in each bin. Gets a little glary here because it's sunny on one side and shady on the other. There's the kale that's coming in very nicely. I just had some of that today in my salad, along with some Swiss chard and some lettuce I'm growing. But let's get to the rant part. So, while these Minnesota and other cities are burning and being looted by these various criminal elements and agent provocateurs, the Antifa, and all of these radical leftist groups that just try to race bait and take advantage of any situation to try to advance their political globalist agenda. It's very, very sad that there has to be such destruction of private and public property, people being hurt, and all of this for them to promote their agenda. Right there in the foreground is sage. Behind it is cilantro coming in very nicely. There's some parsley here, though I think some cilantro has invaded that. And that's a little Swiss chard. And I swear, it looks like there's almost a zucchini plant next to that chard. I don't know. Or some kind of squash. I may be wrong, but the leaf looks that way. How did that happen? How did that get there? Maybe that's just a chard. But the thyme isn't coming up. That's in the square to the left, upper left. And I've got these wild onions, chives. I don't know what the heck they are. They're all growing and they're all like a foot or more tall. I've got to start just pulling them out and eating them. I should have thinned those things so they could have grown as onions, but you'll see they're all over the yard. Nice little view of my gravel path here. Every year I've been adding more and more rocks. It's hard to get gravel. I don't know why, but the local box stores, well, this year it's been impossible because they won't deliver. But be that as it may. Yeah, so, I looked on the CDC site because they keep track of all causes of death, including homicides. And it was something like 19,500 people a year die from homicide. These are carrots, and there's a sunflower seed and plants, and I think two corn plants in there, but I don't know how the corn is going to make it with those, carrots so close to it. So nearly 20,000 people die each year in homicides. We've gone into, psycho land with this latest, criminal killed by a cop, whatever you call it. This happens all the time. And, life is precious and all life should be appreciated. And however, it's amazing how they just pick and choose and select these things. It's, to not believe that this stuff isn't orchestrated. It's very hard to believe it's not orchestrated. It's, and it's funny how COVID-19 is like suddenly over and out of the news, right? Because they found a new thing. So it really goes to show how much they really cared about people's health. Now that they found a new thing. Oh, we can race bait. We could latch on to this one, and let's bring in the Soros-backed, leftists from Seattle and all these other places. Bus them in, pay them $50 or $100 each, and get them to, join in the arson and looting of the town. I mean, how is that considered a protest when you're destroying committing crimes, basically stealing and committing crimes? There's potato there on the left, some more cilantro growing wildly there amidst that absolute lettuce explosion there with those giant shard leaves, which I also cut out today. Those things were like over a foot tall. But I'm very happy with the garden. As you can see, it is just the past few days, it's just going beautifully. It's crazy. Even these cucumber plants that were just literally babies are now, looking very healthy and big. Of course, tonight the temperature is going to get down to like 41 degrees. So I got to sweat that out. I mean, we're talking about, we're like 2 days away from June. In my area, we should not be below 50 at this point after Memorial Day. You're just, it's craziness. Anyway, so yeah, you've got agent provocateurs, all the radicals on call, like, hey, we got to go to the hot spot so we could participate in the destruction of America. And yet the media is covering it like these people are some kind of, heroes or something, instead of just being, while you're watching guys hammer with hammers, opening up cash registers, and people's, pulling out of stores with like big screen TVs and clothes and sneakers, and then like raiding and ravishing these Family Dollar stores and then torching them. Going into a Mercedes place and just, destroying the Mercedes. Like, why? Right? Sorry, I was in, you can see this, somehow I got my own shadow in here over the top of the pepper plants. I discovered it and then stopped it. But yeah, so in between my happiness with the garden, I'm confronted with this absurd, crazy behavior, and how they just turned off the COVID thing like a light switch and went right into this because, we can loop these graphics better, and that's, a little more sensational for our tabloid journalism, and to keep those eyeballs on during the commercial breaks. Pretty insane. That's 21st century America, the year 2020, when your computer's only good for a couple of years. Your software all has to exist in the crowd. You got to rent your software. I can't. I have to use like 2 different computers to do 2 different, different jobs now. Stuff that years ago I could easily have done faster and better. But now with bloatware and everything charged by the rent this program, lease it, monthly lease, and then they just keep adding things that slow it down. Look at those wild, crazy onion things. And that patch of oregano next to my little greenhouse, which I shot this before I did some repairs to this greenhouse today. Some of the plastic was crazy. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up, folks. So there's my tomato plants. They're looking good. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.